The Hartley Show is a comic book review program and does not own any of the copyrighted material featured in this episode. All copyrighted material featured will be used as fair use for the purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, and/or research. Taki. Today on The Hartley Show, zombies. Hey. Ever since I watched Man of Steel, I can't stop crying blood. I love Superman.
Good for you. What are you doing out here?
Aren't you supposed to be, setting up or something?
Don't you have store keys?
Maybe you lost them.
Maybe they're in Barry's audio case.
Don't touch it!
The history of zombies in North American culture date back to 1929, when explorer W.B. Seabrook wrote a book by the name of The Magic Island. In it, he sensationalized and largely fictionalized Haiti, voodoo culture, and zombies. Now, this was followed up by things like Bela Lugosi's The White Zombie, and of course, H.P. Lovecraft, who wrote a great deal of zombie stories, most notably the dark comedy Cool Air, about a man who cheats death by turning himself into a zombie, but has to keep his apartment constantly cool to keep from rotting. Richard Matheson's 1954 sci-fi novel, I Am Legend, changed the entire game by inspiring George Romero's 1968 Night of the Living Dead. Now, prior to that, zombies generally, and particularly in comics, were driven by revenge to rise from the grave. They didn't look for human flesh to consume or anything to that degree. The George Romero flesh-eating style zombie made a major comeback in 2003 when Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore created The Walking Dead. And of course, in that same year, Max Brooks also published The Zombie Survival Guide, and 28 Days Later, which although not a true zombie film, it's considered part of the genre, came out, all to huge success. Then in 2006, Max Brooks published another book, World War Z, An Oral History of the Zombie War, and this fully cemented the modern age of the zombie. Little known fact, everybody on the crew, including Jen and Shannon, have been a zombie but me. So it's important to talk about the explosion of zombies in pop culture the last few years. First off, you've got World War Z, sadly Brad Pitt's highest grossing movie of all time. Then two giant video games that came out in the last year. You've got Telltale Games' The Walking Dead game, which earned a Game of the Year award. Speakeasy's The Last of Us game, which sold 3.4 million copies in the first 3 weeks alone, and also spawned a Dark Horse comic, a prequel comic that was pretty cool, I might add. And then, of course, comics. You've got The Other Dead, a story about zombie animals rising from the grave, and in the first issue they kill off Dick Cheney. You've got The Mocking Dead, an zombie apocalypse that's all about human incompetency, and they've got these strange chuckling zombies kicking around. Then you've got Archie's first adult comic, Afterlife with Archie. The zombie apocalypse comes to the world of Riverdale, spawned when Hot Dog, Jughead's dog, gets hit by a car. And then you've got a reissuing of Zombie Jesus. Local artist Robin Thompson reissued it in color. And then you have to mention Max Brooks' first zombie series, The Extinction Parade, all about the zombie apocalypse and how it affects the vampires of its world. Marvel, of course, has their Marvel Zombie series, which started off by Robert Kirkman. In the last year, they put out Marvel Zombie Supreme and a Marvel Zombies Christmas special, and they've got an upcoming series by George Romero called Empire of the Dead. I think the plan is for it to be a 12-issue series and not to really focus on any Marvel superheroes. Over on the DC side of things, they don't actually have any currently running zombie-specific title. In 2012, they had a series that was canceled by the name of iZombie that lasted 28 issues, but they do have an entire line of supernatural comic books, supernatural-themed comic books that do feature undead, oftentimes zombies, things like Justice League Dark, Constantine, Swamp Thing, Animal Man, and of course, believe it or not, Wonder Woman. Which of course brings us to The Walking Dead, the 900-pound undead gorilla of the entire zombie genre. This year, once again, they sold the most copies of any comic for the year. Number 115 sold 352,000 copies. outselling February's Justice League of America, which sold 308,000 copies. A pretty sizable difference there. And then, of course, you've got the TV show. This massive, massive ratings hit. Their season 3 finale netted them their highest ratings yet with 12.4 million viewers, but then it was devoured by the season 4 premiere, which netted them 16.1 million viewers. Suck that up. Little known fact. There's a plant from Colombia known as the devil's breath. When inhaled by its victim, makes people in essentially a zombified state, making them highly susceptible to suggestion, which essentially means they're your bitch. So rumor has it the new AMC Walking Dead spin-off show is going to have, of all characters, Wood God in it. Now this is a... son of a bitch. Who's a good zombie? Pain in the ass.
You know, I was on set with Steven Seagal one time, and he eats exactly like that.
You know, guys, we can't film the show, let alone run the store with Meatbag walking around trying to take a bite at everyone. Wait! An idea!
Is it very smelly?
Don't touch it! We're here today at Netherworld Collectables with Daryl Gaspari, owner, proprietor, and all-around swell guy. Daryl, how you doing today, brother?
Doing excellent, Hartley. How you doing?
You know, we got to start off talking about the success of your store. You seem to have been doing well for the last year. How long have you been around now?
Almost a year. It's in February. It'll be a year.
You're probably having a lot of success based off of zombie merchandise overall.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, you know, with the increase in popularity, and I mean, it was the same thing with vampires 10 years ago, right? But as soon as the zombies hit the scene, everybody got into it, and they make just ludicrous amounts of merchandise to do with zombies.
What's the most popular, your best-selling zombie item?
It's really the more obscure zombie merchandise. Like I said, if it's weird, people love it. Anti-zombie virus hand sanitizer, outbreak zone zombie barricade tape, zombie cookie jar, zombie hunting permits, zombie air fresheners.
Zombie air freshener?
Yeah, it's not what you think. It smells like potpourri or something. It doesn't smell like rot.
What kind of Walking Dead specific merchandise is there that you want to pimp out right now that you're really excited about that people have to know about?
I would say that this just came out last week. And this is a 2-pack. They only made one other Daryl Dixon figure prior, and that was in the first series when they finally did the first run of toys. And he was a short pack, so it was harder to get. And it went online for ludicrous amounts of money because everybody wanted the Daryl figure. So now it's redone, same cast, same mold, same figure in a 2-pack with his brother Merle. I mean, it's a very cool little box set. To get both the brothers together. And I mean, it was solicited a long time ago. We were waiting a long time for this one to come in.
So I got to say, one of my favorite things about your store is you've got this great collection of zombie killing weapons.
One of the things that we have here that's really, really popular is this is a line of zombie knives made by K-Bar. This is one that they call the War Sword. And really, this one and the prior one have this really unique little nubbin here at the bottom, which will keep your hand in place and it won't slip. And that was a design by them to, you know, in case you're zombie fighting and, you know, it's not going to slip out of your hand. But they also make this thing, which is called a pestilence chopper, which is the closest thing that they have to a small machete, which for all your decapitating needs, pestilence works good. The newest acquisition, I mean, this reminds me of something out of Sinbad the Sailor. And this thing is just absolutely absurd. Again, 100% handcrafted in the USA, no nonsense, high carbon steel. And look at that. There's only really one reason to carry that around. And that's in case of a zombie invasion. The Tomahawk is definitely good for zombie combat. This thing's made by SOG. So you've got your short hewing axe at the front. You got the spike on the back, which, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
What the heck is this thing again?
That's a buffalo jaw.
That is just awesome. For when you just need to bludgeon someone with something that looks wicked. So you mentioned something else? Something else you were going to show off?
This is incredibly no-nonsense.
Wow.
This thing's called the Brain Bar. You could cut through a car door like butter with this thing. And also, in case of a zombie invasion, it's definitely good help. I mean, just the sheer weight of this thing alone. So the Brain Bar Junior, another no-nonsense piece of metal. This and the Brain Bar were actually handmade by a blacksmith in Aldergrove.
And hey, look, I gotta ask you. This is gonna sound kind of weird, but say you had a zombie show up in your store. What would you do? How would you handle that?
Well, I do have an impressive array of weaponry I could choose from. Earlier, I mentioned a rake in the post-apocalyptic, which I think would be like one of the ultimate weapons, because you don't always have to get rid of the zombie. You just have to keep them away from you. You got a metal rake, you got the little point. If you need to stab them in the head, you can push them away. You can pull them through. A rake, I think, would be an excellent zombie apocalypse weapon. I think everybody should get a rake.
Well, that was great advice, Daryl. As always, thanks for your time. It was a pleasure being here, man.
Absolutely. It's always good to have you guys come back anytime.
Been waiting my whole life for this moment.
Hey, don't you think munitions and collectibles won't work so well together? So who's gonna deal with this thing anyways? Oh, it's me? I'm the guy dealing with this? Tic Tac?
Hey,
Hey. So there you have it, zombies. As always, thanks to Taz for letting us film here. Big thanks to Netherworld, and thanks for watching.
And cut.
I wonder where the hell that zombie came from anyways.
Nobody touch my gear. Zombies? Who likes zombies? Zombies.
Alright, well, I'm out of here, guys. I mean, what the hell?
New word from the nation's top scientists on the zombie virus that appeared 2 weeks ago. They released information saying that the symptoms to watch for are aggression, foaming from the mouth, deterioration of motor skills, and an unbelievable hunger. Be advised that if the infected becomes hostile, the only way to harm them is to shoot them in the head.